some giant pieces of wood, like chunks of wood, like rounds of trees that were gonna get split into firewood, and my back popped. There was an audible, like I could feel it and hear the pop, and I dropped to my knees and I cried, and that's what started the big problems. Where every few months I would do something stupid. It would take several days to just kind of get back to normal, and then I would do something stupid and drop to my knees screaming. Um, then in 2014, in all places, God, if I could marry a voice, woo, and a girl, because God damn, look at her. Mm. But you like orals? Yes. It's Tennessee whiskey. You're a stray strawberry. That voice does things to me. Did you see a chiropractor? I see a chiropractor on a regular basis. Uh, I am as I am as close to a spinal expert or an expert on back pain as you could be without being without actually having a degree in medicine. Seriously. Like if you need advice, ask people who have been in my channel for a while. If you need advice on how to deal with back pain, come to me. Are you Sweden? No, I don't. I don't. I just don't want to. Normally my back is manageable. It hurts a little bit or doesn't hurt, depending on what I do. Um, but you don't even need to ask. He'll just give the advice. Yes, that's true. Um, but anyway, in 2014, there wasn't anything particular I did except maybe some more strain on it with activities over the course of a few days, and it was sore for a day, it was more sore the next day, and the next day after that, I couldn't walk. It was that bad. And it took about I was at home in bed for like a week or two, basically like barely able to even like get out of bed to go to the bathroom. Um, and after a couple of weeks, it got to a point where I could walk with a limp, and I went to an orthopedist and all that, and eventually I had surgery. There was just a discectomy. It took like a year or so to get all that done. Whether it helped or not, I don't know. But I've had periods in my life where I've gone to a chiropractor 3 times a week, fairly recently too. Um, Now I go to a chiropractor once every other week, maybe every week if things are bad. So I will be seeing my chiropractor because it's the holidays. She's not available, and she's the second best chiropractor I have ever seen. Um, and I'm a fucking expert. A vasectomy? No. I should probably do that too, but really, what's the point? It's not like I get to use it anyway. Um, but let's see, when is my next appointment? My next appointment to the chiropractor is on Monday. So wait, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. November, December, it's not Monday. Wednesday. So yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I am really an expert at managing it. So find someone to hook up. I, I suppose. Um, but yeah, I just have to be extremely careful for the next few days because it really is. Like 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? Yesterday, I woke up in the morning. I think it was yesterday. I woke up in the morning feeling like, holy shit, something happened during the night, and I feel great. Like I could almost jump out of bed without pain. Got in the shower, and this tiny little wrong movement in the shower, and I'm not even talking like I slipped or anything. Just reaching for something, and it went, 4 steps backwards. So I just have to be extremely careful because it's on that razor's edge where one wrong move and I could be in bed for a couple of weeks. So I know how it is. I know how it feels. I know what I have to do. I'm taking appropriate precautions, appropriate pharmaceuticals. I don't like to use the heavy stuff. I despise those things. I use Robax, which is a Canadian drug, um, which you cannot get in the U.S. Unfortunately. It is technically illegal in the US, but in Canada, you can get Robax off any shelf in any pharmacy, no prescription whatsoever. It's fine. But the US is fucking bullshit. So I have a friend who's Canadian American, and he crosses the border fairly frequently, and he goes and Robax. Robax has saved my life. Seriously, no hyperbole there. Robax saved my life. And my friend sends me a supply when he crosses the border, and when I need it. Um, so he said at the end of February. I'm right now. Because of this last week, it's cut into my supply quite a bit. um, so he said at the end of January he's gonna be in the U.S. again. So he's gonna send me some. He is moving back to the States, however, which is a problem. It's gonna cut my main supplier off. So he might like have to he said he's gonna stock up and send me a bunch. Hey, Layrina. Robax pain relief. I guess, yeah. It's basically ibuprofen with a muscle relaxant. So I really highly, highly recommend it. Can they just mail it from Canada? That's riskier, just because it's technically illegal in the US, so it is riskier, right? To mail it from Canada. Plus, way, way more expensive shipping wise. Just if he can cross the border, because he lives next to the border. Why is my phone playing an audiobook right now? What the hell? No. Um, like this talking. Where's it coming from? Um, so it's risky, and it's way cheaper to just cross the border and ship it from within the US to a US address. So, and you can't find the equivalent in the US. It's because if you just take ibuprofen, it takes care of the inflammation and a little bit of the pain, but it's not doing anything to relax the muscles that are causing the problem in the first place, right? So as soon as the ibuprofen wears off, those muscles are still doing their thing, and it brings the problem right back. Um, Robax is perfect. It really is. It's in the U.S. you can get just ibuprofen, or you can go to a doctor and get fucking Percocet or Vicodin or something, right? Or Lycodin or whatever, all this bullshit stuff that's like s- knocks you the fuck out, right? And is addictive as shit. And so it's bad. And I don't want that shit. Also, going to the doctor costs you, an arm and a leg in the U.S. So, so Robax is okay. Long-term use? I mean, I'm not using it every day. If I use it every day, it's when things are bad. Normally, I would use it for a few days to get, if there's a problem, I use it for a few days, and then I'll take, you know, a few days without using it. So it's fine. Is it Using it every day long term, no. Any drug using long term, like it's bad, right? Especially like ibuprofen, anti-inflammatories, stuff like that. You don't want to use them every day for a long time. I don't buy it on a site, Moose. I buy it. My friend in Canada buys it. You might have missed that. My friend in Canada buys it for me. Goes to any pharmacy, just buys it, and crosses the border and ships it to me. So, granted, it's probably just as illegal as Patrick's cookies that he sends over the border. I bet there's issues with those, but but yeah. So I've lived on that shit. It's kept me going for years and years. I heard about it from my roommate who was Canadian, and it doesn't knock you out. It doesn't make you drowsy. Um, it's not addictive. It just takes the edge off the pain and relaxes the muscles just enough like you can function. And it's but without being, without taking it to extreme like American drugs. So fucking love it. Right. It can be prescribed in the US, but for that you have to go to a doctor and get a prescription and pay a lot of money and all that shit. Whereas in Canada, just buy it like any bottle of ibuprofen off the shelf. That's it. So blame Canada, I guess. They don't want us to have the good stuff. Well, we now have all forests done. Generic version in the States, if it's generic, there's a good chance that it's cheap. Sure, but the office visit to get the prescription isn't. Although I might be able to get my. Can you send me the name, Shane? There's a generic version of it. And is it mixed? Is it with ibuprofen or is it just the relaxant? So send me a message with the details. So tech, it's not illegal to have it if it's prescribed. Right. Is this Valerian? Yes. Yes, it is. Well done. So I've got all the forests done. We still have an hour until my official orc killing time. Let's paint all these fuckers with green, which will make them soaking wet like a Tijuana whore on the day before Cinco de Mayo, and then they can dry overnight. Bring it, Stephen Colbert. I guarantee it's because US wants to sell more addictive drugs and doc appointments, not because Canada says no. Oh, I know. I know. Doesn't know Mexico doesn't really give a shit about Cinco de Mayo. Sure, but I'm sure a lot of Texans go over to Tijuana for the prostitutes on Cinco de Mayo. Oh, and Tijuana is on the border of California and Texas. That okay, fine, fair. Californians, but I bet a lot of Texans go anyway, because it's Texans. Look ahead, Juarez. Can't confirm. All right. Whoops. Where are my paints? Hello. There they are. Look, it's just a good metaphor, okay? It fits most things in life. Believe me. As a Tijuana whore on the day X, blank, before, after, whatever, Cinco de Mayo, can fit so many things. Try using it. You won't regret it. Especially if you're using it like, I don't know, Bible school or something, Sunday school, etc. Tu mes amis. You can see Mexico from Ron Burgundy's house. I heard a guy using that line. Oh my God, almost 20 years ago, and I still use it to this day. It is really useful. That and the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and you're pretty much covered in any situation where you might need a metaphor. You can thank me later. The one-legged man came from a Texan friend of mine. She did indeed. At the only joint in town, she had a reputation. It's a girl who'd been around. A fresh one hanging from her lips, a beer between her legs. She'd ride down to the river, meet with all her friends, and the party never ends. So if you need a good chiropractor in Atlanta, I got you covered. She's the second best. If you need a good chiropractor in New Jersey, I'll give you the best. Um, don't talk to him about politics. I think he voted for Trump, but good God, that man has magic hands, and so I'm like, I'll still go to him despite everything. And he's an old man. His name's Pete, and holy shit, he's the fucking Gandalf of chiropractors. Some Russian politicians want Alaska back. I'm sure there's a Russian politician for taking back every country. Right? They just like designate them. Okay, you're part of the Russian parliament now. All right, you just pull the name of a country out of a fucking hat. Now you are the lobby for getting that country back in case we ever need it. But Sonny knew a man who knew some Cuban refugees who dealt in contraband. The Duma. Hmm. Cards were on the table and the law came busting in. He broke a bathroom window and he climbed on out the back. Sherry drove the pickup through the alley on the side when the lawman tackled Sonny and was reading him his rights. Thanks for the details, Shane. I actually really do appreciate that. If I can find a good substitute once my friend moves. That would be good. When am I coming to visit? B, when I have money, which probably won't be until the day I fucking die. But you know, at the rate things are going. But good God, my landlords today, 20 minutes before I started the stream, they stepped foot back in the house from New Zealand. What Russia wants and what Russian politicians want are very frequently not the same thing. After he figures out how to walk upside down, yeah. They find your rock. I didn't send them to look for your rock. I'm gonna find that rock someday. Cross your fingers that I hear positive news, which will only mean a second interview, not an actual job offer. Um, Next week. That's when I was told I will hear any news, good or bad. But even then, that job is only going to be temporary and part time. But it's some breathing room, which I really, really fucking need. I thought you were going to say your landlords got back today and were kicking you out. No, they will soon if I can't pay the rent. This map is for them. So I'm basically like they're paying me and then I turn around and I pay them right back. So you like Lord of the Rings, eh? A tiny bit. It's okay. I mean, I don't really care for the books or movies much. I did like what they did, what Amazon did with the Rings of Power quite a bit. That was awesome. And the Hobbit movies were really cool. You know, I really think like they definitely upped their game from the Lord of the Rings. Rings of Power is great. They made it like a Marvel movie, so it was funny and smart. Yeah, you shut your whore mouth and fuck right off. I know you're joking and it's still bullshit. Can you hear the unfollows? Hey, look, if it makes Shane so angry that he has to drive over here to tell me to fuck off, I get to see Shane. That's not a bad thing. I thought you liked it, Shane. Your chat command doesn't say anything bad about it. I am what you would call a bit of a Lord of the Rings fan. I have a shit memory, so I'm no Shane or Jim or Steve Najarian. And I've never read the Silmarillion. I tried. I really tried and couldn't get past the first chapter. It was even harder than the birthday chapter in The Lord of the Rings. I will read it again someday. I don't want to do it as a audiobook. Andy Serkis narrated the Silmarillion as well, and I think that would be amazing. The problem is the Silmarillion is a fucking history book full of names of people and names of places, and they all sound the fucking same because Tolkien couldn't be fucking bothered to make them sound different. And so in an audiobook, when you don't actually have the spelling and you can't just go back and listen to a line over and over, it's not the same as a book where you can just like, wait, who? Everything's gonna get mishmashed together, and so I don't want to do that. So I will read it, in an actual physical book someday. Shane, how about this? Why don't you do a Silmarillion book club where we read a chapter a month, right? Make it slow. I know you could read the entire book in about 2 hours. Make it slow so people have time. A chapter a month, and then we like get together on Discord and discuss it or whatever. That'll encourage me to read it. Fucking nerd. But audiobooks, it happens that way because it's like what you don't know if you can't see how the name is spelled, and you have two names that sound a lot alike. It's like, wait, who are we talking about? What the fuck's going on? Silmarillion is best read in small bits. Yeah, that's what she said. Hell, Shane, um, make it a Patreon thing. I will join your Patreon for that. For the Shane McInnes. Wait, were you not here, Shane, in the last 2 minutes? Did you not hear what I said about the Silmarillion book club? I couldn't even read the parody to Silly Marillion. I think that was a porn movie, not really a book. The book was the novelization of the porn film. I was trying to tuck Brittany in. Was it tuck Brittany in or tuck it in Brittany? Ha! So yes, I missed the idea. The idea is you do lead a Silmarillion book club where you read a chapter a month. I lost much longer than that. Lead a Silmarillion book club where we read a chapter a month, and we can discuss it on Discord or whatever. And if you make it a Patreon thing, I will join your Patreon just for that, for the inspiration to read it. The Silly Marillion. Oh my God, that actually exists. The unauthorized parody of J.R.R. Tolkien's classic, The Silmarillion. That's awesome. Is there an audiobook? That's great. I bet Jim will join that book club as well. Could just do that anyway. Also, I'm sort of doing Silmarillion. Just finished an actual Silmarillion on Thursday night. Who's what? Why did I not know about this? Exterminator. Well, no, that doesn't. No, that's not a book club. Nobody sat and read. Well, maybe somebody did, but most people did not read the appropriate chapters before your stream. It's not a book club. It's a stream club at best. But in the night. This is not a song for killing orcs. This doesn't work. I'm trying to imagine myself killing orcs with this. Doesn't work at all. How goes the orc killing, Shane? Good night, Hunk. Why the finger to paint? Because with the finger I can get um it feels like I can actually get more water to pigment ratio, and I can rub it on a larger surface, so it's thinner paint. I can cover a larger surface easier, faster, before it absorbs, right? So I wanted a thinner paint. Whereas if I did this with the bone tool, um, because it's a much pointier, smaller surface, I get thicker concentration of pigment, and I don't want that in this case. Too much time running around exploring, and I keep running into baddies that swarm me and kill me. Then I end up having to get revenge. But the revenge you get bit. Oh wait, no, there's no gear in the first game, so never mind. I just have to mix it up like this to get the pigments to swirl around better. And the reason I want thinner pigment on these forests is because I don't particularly like the type of green that you get when this is like solid pigment. So I want the color of the buckskin to sort of show through, so it's more of a yellowish green. I also don't want such heavy pigment that it, or paint in general, that it dries kind of as a solid layer. I want the texture of the buckskin to still show through. For example, it was really thick on this, right? I had to do like 2 or 3 layers. This is like, right? Too much. That's why I didn't like it and decided to redo the whole thing. So a lot of what I do is just really going by feel, and it's really hard to replicate things. It's why I'm like, I have to paint all of them at the same time. This technically, since I'm using this green the way it is straight out of the container, I didn't mix it with any other color, any other pigment. I could paint them in different times, right? I could paint half of them tonight and another half tomorrow night. But if I was mixing it with any other color, I have to make enough to paint the whole thing, because replicating it is fucking impossible. And if I let it sit overnight and the pigment mixes even more tomorrow, that same thing, even if there's still paint left there, it's not going to be the same color. So I just have to learn how to adjust to those things. Ask about his short career as glass. I've never blown glass, but I have had a short career at fingering Smurfs. Actually, a long career at fingering Smurfs, and I have now graduated to fingering Hulks, I guess. or goblins. Just end up dying repeatedly to make a cognizant effort to do missions. Yeah, man. The missions give you XP, level you up, make you more powerful. Way more. Although in the first game you do get XP for killing orcs. Um, so in theory, you can grind orcs and level up. In the second game, you don't. You only get XP for completing missions, whatever they are, whether it's collecting stuff or, you know, first game you get XP for pretty much everything because there's less content. So the draw of the icon on the screen. Oh, you see the thing on the mini map and you go, I have to go there. I know that. I know that very well. Fingering ants, I like that. See, I'm adding water to it because I want more water to pigment ratio, a higher water to pigment ratio. Now, that also means that these get really, really soaking wet. Uh, and so they need time to dry. But I also might do some more work on them tonight because some pigments, some effects that I want to get with them work better when they are wet. When I apply the next layer, yeah, I need more pigment in there actually, than if it's dry. So, like, if I want to add black to these, and I do, some shading, will they shrink? No. No, they've done all the shrinking they're gonna do. I could go to that mission, but on the way to that mission, there's an Ithalian point, and an item point, and then I get attacked by a group of orcs and die. Then vengeance. Yes. There's no shame in running. Just run the fuck away from them. I mean, yes, there is shame in running, but still, run away from them. There's a little shame in running, but only if anyone else sees you do it. Only anyone else that isn't an orc. In the second game, it's kind of easier to run away because you don't get XP for killing them. So you're like, oh fuck it, I don't want to. I don't have time for this shit. You know, I'm out of here. He runs away, lives to fight another day. Exactly. There are also certain abilities that really help battle. Once you have those and you learn to use them, it's like, oh, okay, it's so much easier. And it might be easier with a mouse. You're playing with a controller. I don't know. I've never played the game with a controller. With a mouse, it's just to block. Matt Tunic Wedding Mollycoddle Raijin. Thank you for the follow. With a mouse, blocking is just right clicking. So maybe it's easier to time it. I don't have to move my finger anywhere and it bam, 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 block, 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 and fuck them up. It might be more difficult on the controller. Usually it's the other way around, but Mississippi. That was too much pigment because I stuck my finger way in there, rubbed it all over the inside, and there was a lot of pigment there. Never had a PC that would seriously game that could seriously game until I was married. So I was raised on controllers. I even play most PC games now on controller. I'm completely the opposite. Set me free. So now we do want some black. Let's see how we this. All right, for shading, it doesn't matter too much what direction I want to do it with the forests, but when it's wet from the other stuff, from the green, the black sort of wash will absorb easier and kind of dissipate a little better. It won't dry as like a black streak, so it works better. There are some maps, if I did a forest in a style that's like every tree gets detailed, and that's some of the earlier maps, every single tree was burned individually, painted individually with a base color, a shadow, and a highlight. Every single tree. Not doing that now. This is more of a suggestion of trees rather than detailed trees. I don't know if you're a Sturgill Simpson fan. I've been kicked lately. I don't know if I'm a Sturgill Simpson fan. I guess we'll find out. If I know any of their songs, then I don't know them by name. A free man, devil's gonna say. Individual leaves glued onto. I have been known to do some stupid things like that. Still need to start on the board, the base for that, and but this map is a much higher priority, so that project is kind of taking a back seat. The devil's gonna set me free. Trying to like get some black splotches in there, but nothing too obvious. That's very willy. I like it. He says Jesus right off the bat, but it's not a Christian song. I know some songs like that where I'm like, ugh. I've heard this before, I'm sure. Yeah, this I'm getting paid for. The Ent I'm not. If somebody wanted to actually pay me what that Ent is worth for all the time I put into it, you know, then I'd be in more of a rush to finish it. But there was somebody in chat who offered me like what, $100 or something like that for it. Uh, uh, no. So really, I'm doing this like sort of shading just for variety, just to have some variety in the eye when you look at it, some contrast. Is he listing drugs? It's always about people telling you to find Jesus, but tripping balls and being nice to people has saved him. Waging endless war. Every day we waste more. And they go home. What do they do for fun? Just got season 1 of the Wonder Years. Dostoevsky, snow jobs, drinking beer. I heard he likes to drink quite a bit. It makes him feel at peace. He's a series. Sunsets on the beach. Classic Funny or Die. And starlet lies awake and wonders, will Duke still love me when I'm old? I see the way he looks at Lady J. One day he's gonna leave me in the cold. No, Duke, don't go. Snow shadows making out to dress, boosting Zaymot's wallet. He needs the extra cash. Cobra Commander loves 70s boogie. He's a big fan of Three Dog Night. One is the loneliest number. Ever tried? No, I've not. It will be very difficult to spread it that way. It'll be real thick. But I feel so much. Who the fuck requests a specific shape on a bag that has no shape? Tommy Cave! Do they not realize this is just a blob of leather? There is no structure. It was probably PAX just trolling you and putting that order in. To mind benders talking honest. Ham radio. I wish it was. That would be an easy murder. Always be this way. Are you shipping them too, or do you ship them back to the store or whatever to some central location? You're supposed to be able to make it work. That's what they're paying you for, right? To alter reality and give them exactly what looks like there. I either pick them up or I drop them off. Really? No shipping. That's so very local. Interesting. Owner told me when I first started that there would be no special requests. And now they're allowing special requests. Are you getting paid more for these special requests? Oh, they the store picks them up or you drop them off. Okay, gotcha. You camel-mannered Earth Reagan 99, another in the throttle to shut you up. Thank you for the follow. What's an Earth Reagan? As opposed to like Space Reagan or Mars Reagan? Jupiter Reagan? Uranus Reagan? Mortal enemy of Fire Reagan. That's true. Or the Water Reagan. No extra. They also told me they weren't doing larges because they take too much leather and are too difficult. I had 4 large orders for Christmas alone. Uh, well, don't you shouldn't you be saying I need to get paid more for these because they take more time? And I don't know if you're paying for the materials, but if you are, clearly getting paid more for that. Probably no, not paying for interest. Okay, let's get paid for labor. Well, you get paid. I mean, okay, if you get paid, do you get paid by the hour or by the bag? If you get paid by the bag, say I need to get paid more for the big ones and the special requests. If you get paid by the hour, then who gives a shit? Fuck 'em. Takes longer, it takes longer. By the bag, then yeah, you gotta tell them, hey, I gotta get paid more for this. You bet your ass the store gets paid more for the big ones and the special requests. They're not charging the same for it. They are. They're fucking dumb. They fuck up if someone is a dick and needs it fast. Don't let them take advantage of you. I know you need that job, but still, it's like, hey, this is taking that much longer. I need to get paid that much more. Nothing wrong with that. She's in school for that. So this is during school. Pay the bills. Might be new gig. Yeah, still have another semester. Okay, wait. Oh, so you've got an. Oh, need to see what's up with new gig. If it works out, I'm gone. Oh, what's the new gig? Oh, I didn't read that. Joinery. I thought it said joinery and shoplifting place. Like, are you making joints and shoplifting professionally? You do. Shop. Damn good at that. So you got your first heist on the 15th. see see if it's a new gig or you end up in prison. Rolling joints for people. A professional joint roller and shoplifter. It can be like Uber, right? Um, it's like Uber or like Uber Eats, but for shoplifting. You're like, I don't want to pay for the thing from this store. You get on the app and you're like, all right, I want this from this store. Please steal this thing. And the app, the nearest professional shoplifter can accept the job, the gig, right? That's a great name for the app, Five Finger Discount. And the nearest professional shoplifter will say, I take it. Dine and dash, that's for the food stuff, yeah. And then that's the food version. And you go, you steal the stuff, you deliver it, and they pay you for it. They pay, I mean, obviously they pay less than what the item would cost. So they tip you for bringing in the item. This is some John Wick Continental bullshit. There was also those shit like that in Westworld in the later season, right? There's like an app for killing stuff like that for like professional kind of like shadow runners in a sense. They get their jobs from an app. I like it. New startup. Shane, Brittany can program an app, right? She does that. Let's get on it. I know a couple of lawyers. We could discuss whether this puts us in the like, are we on the bad side of the law, or are we just like providing a platform? It's not our responsibility what people do with it. Like 4chan, for example, right? Or Twitter. We are just an innocent company that provides a necessary social platform. You'd be sued like a bitch for that. Look, any publicity is good publicity, right? Working with lawyers, I don't know if you're on the right side of anything. Send out the alarm. It's your song, Lynette. It's a man to cut and run. Oh, hey, you did ask for it. It's on our playlist. Never left it. So the new gig, if it works out, that's more related to your schooling, so that's fantastic. But in just about any serious or legitimate money-making endeavor, lawyers will eventually get involved. Might as well just start off with them. Well, exactly. If you start with them on the payroll, then it's their job to make the thing happen, as opposed to when they show up after and it's their job to make the thing stop and prevent a good thing from happening. They get all uppity about why did you not include us, so now we're gonna make you stop rather than joining you. So when your fader has no gun. Appeared upon our screen. I need a song like this, but for Bobby Draper. Draper's Storm, or Kamal's Rocinante. Well, he's the pilot. I guess it could be Holden's Rocinante. If it works out like I hope, I will buy you a plane ticket out here in a year. Fuck yeah. All right. She was outgunned. She was outnumbered. Bobby Draper really is. It's hard to decide, but I think she's my favorite character. It's really hard to choose. Is it Bobby? Is it Amos? Is it Avasarala? The appropriate song to reuse? Well, this one. Song about a ghost. A ghost ship. Tradies make bank here. They own most of the boats in the harbor, so I'm told. Tradies? Goddamn Australia. They can't just, like, why do they have to come up with some cute little name word for everything? Everything has to be, like, truncated and then made into a Pokemon. Like, everything. Like, where does that come from? Why? Culturally. It's like Israel. Israel, everything is shortened into an acronym, and that makes sense because it's a everyone was in the military, right? It's mandatory service. It's a small country, so that military jargon is very embedded in the culture. I'm reading. I get news alerts from an Israeli news channel about the war, and there's like all these acronyms, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what this means. Like, but everyone in Israel would know. I just don't know anymore. They they shortened chieful huntsmen into cunts. They're all prisoners, and most of them couldn't read, so they were getting tired of writing